Well, anyone who lives in Kansas should know a thing or two about this. Let's talk about humidity. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan Bain, and this is Bain's Botanicals. Today, we're going to be talking about humidity, which the more I say it, the less it sounds like a word. Humidity, humidity, humidity. Anyway, humidity is just the ambient moisture in the air. Our homes have average humidity. During the winter, it's worse because we have our heaters on, so it dries the air out a lot more. But we try to get houseplants that are able to acclimate to average to below average humidity, because you got to think that most of our houseplants are tropicals and they, live in a jungle environment that has high humidity. So that being said, I just want to go through a couple of plants and just talk about some things you can do to increase your humidity. A plant like this aloe hybrid here is not going to need any humidity at all. They grow up in, I say grow up, they live in a desert environment or a hot environment that doesn't see a lot of rainfall, so they don't need that extra ambient moisture in the air. Same with cactus, same with succulent-like plants. For example, like a hope peperomia is just basically little succulent discs that they just don't need that extra moisture. Something like this alocasia, however, is going to need a little more humidity. I actually noticed that this guy is flowering, which is really exciting. I got this at Ace Hardware in Lawrence on Cassold, and I can't believe it's flowering. I didn't even know if I'd be able to keep the thing alive, just because alocasias are kind of notorious for being a little trickier to take care of. But there it is, except for this yellow leaf that needs to go away. Oh, go away. But yeah, most of our plants fall into that average humidity category, which is good because that means we're able to take care of them more easily. Plants that take a little more humidity, that's going to be like alocasia, some anthuriums, definitely ferns. Actually, humidity is the reason that most people kill ferns. It's not a watering thing, it's not a light thing. It's the air just isn't as humid as the understory of a forest, which is where they grow. You just can't really replicate that unless you have like a terrarium. So terrarium's good for ferns. If your fern's a little bit bigger, sometimes you can, I don't know. If somebody has luck with ferns, we'll talk more about them eventually, but I don't. What else? Calatheas. Anything in the prayer plant family is going to need more humidity. So that's going to be calatheas, goipertias, stramanthe, tenanthe, marantas. If they don't have that humidity, they'll start to get the brown edges. They'll also get the brown edges if you're watering them with tap water, but it can be a moisture thing too. Okay, that being said, what can we do to increase our humidity? Well, the first and most obvious thing is right there. That big guy right there is my big humidifier. I've also got a little one that you can't see because it's in the floor. Humidifiers are an excellent way to increase your humidity around your plants, and it's consistent. So another way that you can obviously increase humidity would be misting. And misting's fun. I think misting is more for your benefit than it is for the plant's benefit, just because it's fun. But it doesn't really give consistent enough humidity to have that be the only source. Does that make sense? Humidifiers are nice because you can set them on timers. It's a good way to just have it be across the board, especially in the wintertime. Without a humidifier in the wintertime, A plant like Calathea is going to struggle just because the air in our house gets so dry. What else? Oh, yes. The other thing you can do is the classic Pebble Tray method, where you put some pebbles in a saucer and you set the plant right on top, making sure that when you water, that you don't water to where the bottom of the plant is underwater, because then you're overwatering the plant. But it also looks nice. I don't want to tip it over too much, but it's kind of a good look too. But the plant will benefit because those rocks will help wick the moisture into the air. So will terracotta, and that will help. Another thing you can do is what I've done: group your plants together. Like, if you have plants that you know are going to struggle with humidity, group them together, because as they transpirate water out of their leaves, which, you know, is just leaking water out of their leaves. It's just kind of what they do. That will absorb into the air and increase humidity. So, you know, there's a phrase, if it grows, that has something to do with something else. If it grows together, it goes together. I think that has to do with like cooking. Well, anyway, if you grow your plants together, their humidity will be better. That's the bottom line. So one thing we can do to check humidity, we can get just a little meter like this. Of course, now it's going to be backwards. But anyway, this measures humidity. You really want between 60 and 70 is great. But if you can just do between 50 and 60, that's probably fine. Anything above 70 is starting to get a little bit too humid for a house. And anything below 50 is maybe a little on the dry side. Now, of course, there are plants that can survive that. I mean, pothos, philodendron. I mean, there's a lot of house plants that you don't even have to worry about humidity that much. But I'm talking for your daintier leaf plants and, you know, like I said, your alocaceas. I also have this guy right here. Excuse the fact that it is a little wilted right now because I just watered it. This is an alternanthera. I'm not sure what species it is off the top of my head, but alternantheras are ones that kind of dry out a little more easily, so I try to water this guy as much as I can, and I do have it on a pebble tray as well. So please bounce back. It's not crunchy, so it's probably fine, but yeah, I just need to be more attentive to that. I think that's all I have about humidity. It's pretty straightforward. Your best bet is probably just to get a humidifier, but misting is nice, and the pebble tray thing is a classic method. So one quick thing I'll say about humidifiers is that if you use tap water in a humidifier, you are going to have to clean it periodically, just because those minerals in the water will build up. If you're able to use like distilled water or filtered water in a humidifier, that's usually better on your machine. But if you can't, it's perfectly manageable. So I think that's all I have about humidity. I know this one ran a little bit longer than I wanted, but it's okay. I hope you guys are having a great week. Please like and subscribe. Let me know if there's any specific videos you'd like to see. I still have a really long list I got to get through. So yes. And I look forward to seeing you guys. So until then, take care, and thank you.